This incredible country of ours is home to so many firsts, so many original places, original thinkers and leaders.
2, 1, 0, all engine running.
Americans can be proud, very proud, of our contributions to the entire world. In fact, every state in our union can also lay claim to many firsts. Oklahoma is no exception. Here in rural Canute, Oklahoma, they can lay claim to an original title with the very, very first state-chartered bank in Oklahoma.
Not First State Bank, it's the First State Bank.
There's not another bank in Oklahoma that has "the" in their title.
There's a lot of first this and first that, but that's the genuine, real article. They are the First State Bank in Oklahoma.
And we're proud of that.
It all started in 1902 in a small wood frame building standing out in the Oklahoma prairie grass. They had a simple mission: help Oklahomans build their future and the future of their state. The First State Bank would be tested early and often, making it through 2 world wars, the Great Dust Bowl, and of course, the unforgettable banking crisis of 1982 with the fall of Penn Square Bank.
It has endured.
And we're here, through their ups and downs, and we're here to take care of them, and we've been here for 113 years now.
The original founders of the First State Bank would be pretty proud as to where it stands today.
And where the bank stands today is traced directly to David Durrett and Chris Turner. Together they bought the banking operation in 2009 when it had assets totaling $22 million. Those assets have grown to $180 million in only 6 years.
I couldn't have grown that fast over that period of time if we didn't have a partner like Federal Home Loan Bank.
I rely on them for a variety of things. Not only do we rely on the mortgage side with the EF program, but we've also utilized overnight advances, termed advances. We've done some match funding where we've sat down and tried to really figure out what's the best way to match a particular loan. But overall, it just allows us to better serve our customers and to give them an option that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Ann Houndstein is one of those customers. Thanks to the first-time home buying program from First State Bank, she was able to secure a home just in time for a spring wedding. This house wouldn't have happened without a $7,500 grant through the Federal Home Loan Bank Topeka and the First State Bank.
And without that, we would not have been able to purchase this house. That's opened up, so many other things that we can do now, so we finally feel like we've put down some roots.
Ann worked with loan officer Matt Brown, who just loves his job.
This is, it's a huge step for them, and we don't take the responsibility lightly that this is a huge milestone for their life to acquire their first home. That was such a big thing with the home ownership set-aside program that Federal Home Loan Bank did, is it kind of got people into homes when they were maybe almost there, or this just helped them achieve their goal.
Is he already taking pictures?
Yes, he is.
Ryan Odom, he loves his job at the bank too, mostly because his job is to get out and see customers. Jamie Winteroth does the same thing for First State Bank. It's the best part of her day.
So I physically go out and make sure that these people have a connection to us that is convenient for them, and I like that.
Don't have to come to the bank. We go to our customers.
That's something that I think that we do really very, very well that I don't know that you get from a lot of other banks.
They do it well enough to keep customers for a lifetime, both here in Oklahoma City, where they now have 2 branches, and out here near Canute. Bert Hudson runs a large-scale cattle and oil field hauling operation that he built from the ground up.
I'm 75 years old now, so I've been there since I was 13.
Hi, Lee. Hi, John. How are you?
Good, honest people, friendly people, just old hometown people.
It's been a rough 4 years.
A few miles away is the Danny Davis farm, where instead of cattle, he's growing cotton. And despite an awful drought, he's still been able to equip all machinery with state-of-the-art GPS tracking for geo-monitoring of seed growth and analytics.
It's mind-boggling.
And he's been able to survive through the bad times because his bank is an equal partner.
They are a part of the family. They're a part of the farm. And I couldn't be more pleased.
Having lifelong happy customers like Davis and Hudson begins with having lifelong happy employees.
There's not a better place to work, plain and simple.
Man, there's just not a lot of places like this around. The people. I love the people.
Sure, I can see that.
Employees credit Turner and Durrett for creating this place where everyone just loves to come to work.
Yes, sir.
And they did it so employees would send that feeling down the line.
If you care about your employees and they care about their customers, that it shows. And that's how we've grown the bank. And I think that's the same way Federal Home Loan Bank has done, is that they give us programs that help us be able to care for our customers even better.
David Durrett leads by example when it comes to service. Gambling is now part of the Oklahoma landscape and culture. And with that culture comes gambling addiction. Durrett serves as a key player in battling addictions as a board member for A Chance to Change Foundation, a nonprofit help center for those dealing with all sorts of addictions.
We are not locked into destructive behavioral patterns, but it often needs help, guidance, and support in order to make those changes. And that's why it's called A Chance to Change Foundation.
So following Durrett's lead, bank employees are also getting out into the community.
I am tenacious.
Positive Tomorrows in Oklahoma City looks like any other elementary school. But if you had seen these kids before school, you'd see many of them are living on couches or in cars. Employees from the First State Bank donate their time at Christmas wrapping gifts for the kids already picked out by the parents.
And it's a little bit more empowering for the families rather than just having somebody dump presents on their doorstep. So they can come in and select what they want for their kids, and then we have volunteers who help wrap those items, and that's what employees at First State Bank were able to do for us this year.
Can you deal with this?
Life is not easy for these kids. If you know anything about Oklahoma, you know the last decade has been anything but easy for a lot of people here.
Folks, this tornado has power. This tornado has power.
Just 2 years ago, a second deadly tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma.
You've got to act and save your loved ones' lives. You've got to act.
The EF5 tornado was more than a mile wide, leaving 24 people dead, over 1,150 homes destroyed, and $2 billion in damages. Today, Moore is rebuilding.
I grew up in this area in Moore. I went to school here all my life.
Robert Waller is an accountant turned home builder. For him, the storm was deeply personal, and he wanted to do something. So he went to the First State Bank.
Not very long after the tornado hit, he was in my office saying, I would like to buy some lots, Barbara. I want to help rebuild. That's important to me. That's my home.
It's an emotional thing. It's not a business decision.
So Robert cut his profit margin to help the people he'd known all his life get back into their homes faster. The First State Bank followed his lead.
They're here to make money just like anyone else, but that wasn't their focus in this project.
In the days and weeks that followed the tornado, the First State Bank employees would be in Moore, doing whatever they could.
This is where we live. This is where our kids are going to school, where our families are, and we want to make sure it's a good place for everybody to live.
Because, the hardest part is when you have to tell somebody no, that you can't help them out. If you're really a caring organization, that's the hardest thing to do, is tell somebody no. And so the Federal Home Loan Bank, especially through the programs that they offer, help us to be able to say yes more than we do no.
But when they say yes, great things can happen. They can take part in downtown revitalization. They can help young people get the start they need. And farmers can survive the toughest of times. And that's just the business side of the First State Bank. The people side is what we are here to celebrate, helping those among us who have the least opportunity, who are facing the toughest of challenges. No one requires our banks to be this involved in their customers' lives, but they're Americans. This is what Americans do for each other. Congratulations, the First State Bank, for being this year's Federal Home Loan Bank Topeka Community Leader Award winner.